It's after Mother's Day. Hello, everybody. On today's Tuesday, you are once again up front with Frank Rothstein on skiescrescentradio.com. And once again, I'm going to spell it SKYES, crescentradio.com, where you can find out all the good shows we have on the air. Please visit the website. Also, you'll be finding our work on the Skies Crescent Radio on Facebook, on Spotify, on iHeart, on YouTube, on, wait, let me read the list. On YouTube, we just have a long list of places. We have a scroll somewhere of all the websites, so you can find it anywhere. Sitting with me as always, drinking out of transparent glasses, of course, the technically something, Jade Zabrick. She's playing with all her new technology and all her green screen equipment and all her stuff, and now she has a glass that disappears into the background. Fortunately, well, unfortunately, she's drinking water, so I can't see the good effect, like watching The Invisible Man. I can't see the effect. But okay, next time we'll use Coca-Cola. How is everybody today? It is a nice day in Gotham City. Yesterday was a bit same as the day before. It was but you know, things go on as they are. And yes, we have lots going on in the world. We haven't had this in a while. You know, a little Middle Eastern action. Seems that Hamas is fighting with Israel again. Every now and again, somebody gets uppity with Israel and there's a bomb sent, and then Israel just sort of retaliates. And they'll be retaliating for a while until someone figures out a way to get them to stop. Nothing new. I don't even need the reasons why anymore. It just seems like the same old thing over and over and over. What can you do, right? Someone's got to test out the new technology, I guess. And don't get me wrong, I don't make light of it. I think it's a horrible thing. As long as I'm alive, I'm watching this one every few years, some country and Israel, and it doesn't go smoothly. What else is going on? Oh yeah, we're still talking about vaccines. You know, I am. How do I put this? Let me see. I am a lot of things. I am a lot of things, including I am American. I am happy I am American. This is where I'm from. This is home. This is what it is. Other beautiful places in the world to be from. I am from America. And every now and then I want to slap every American in the back of the neck, like, because they deserve it. Let's take a look at this vaccine problem. The people looking to get vaccinated has dropped off remarkably. I think 41% light. It's numbers have dipped. People who are looking for this. Certainly in the beginning, when people were willing to kill their family members just to get first on the line, Walgreens and Dwayne Reed had access to it and dropped the ball. I don't know about the rest of the country, but I'm in New York and it was bad. But I don't get it. You know, if you don't want the vaccine, okay, what can I say, right? It's not my business. But this is the only country I know of where people have to be bribed in order to get it. I mean, many sports teams around the country are giving away a free ticket to get in, to go get a vaccine. Certainly in New York and to the MTA and to the subways, they're bringing the vaccines there. I mean, there's always a spare room in most train stations. They'll give you the list when it's all set up of where you can go. But it's the mentality of it. The mentality of, I don't have to be vaccinated. It is my right. Well, okay. Try getting your kids into school with no measles shot. Nothing for the plague. Because I don't know if you're getting the plague still. I still have that mark in my arm where I was vaccinated. Then it was inoculated for the plague. I mean, this is what goes on. And, COVID, we've seen the results. By the way, there's still about 750 bodies still hanging out in trucks in Brooklyn. They're still being stored from last year. But I don't understand the need for people to have to be bribed, or why the reasoning of why people feel, or why anyone would have to be bribed or compensated or tricked or something into getting vaccinated. I mean, if you're willing to sit down there for a free ticket to a game, then certainly you don't mind getting the vaccination. I mean, it's either you want to get it or you don't. And if you shouldn't have to get something for free to do this. And why am I talking about this? Because in India, right now, in India, there are people using, what are they calling it? Cow dung as therapy. They think this is what's going to help them. Cow dung. They are taking cow crap, cow shit from the fields, and they are rubbing it on their bodies. This is what people think, where they're dying in massive numbers, that this is going to help them. It's not. Doctors are begging them not to. In India, where they're running out of oxygen because hospitals are ill-equipped and not many people are helping. I mean, by now I'm hoping someone has helped them. I haven't heard of a relief in this week, but yeah, people are using cow crap to you know, to try to help themselves in any way possible. That's what they're doing. I mean, I want you to think about this. I'm living in New York, but pick any other place in the country. Pick any other place in the world, all right, where you could be living. In America, let's just stick with America, all the nice places we have. You could be anywhere in New York State, in the country, in California, in Dallas, Texas, Chicago, anywhere where there's been a problem, but nice, otherwise nice cities. You could be living there, living in your very nice house. You're eating, you have a roof over your head. And I'm not trying to sound like an old-fashioned thing where, as long as I have a roof over my head, I'm a happy guy. No, that's not the case. But you have all the things you need in life to either sustain or thrive. And in places like India, they are rubbing cow feces on their bodies as therapy. And doctors are warning people not to make oxygen at home. But here you need a free baseball ticket to go get a shot. Well, I guess, I don't know if you're insisting on a second ticket to get the second shot, but that is pretty much what's going on in America. It seems pretty sad. I mean, nobody had to bribe me, I'll give you $10 to get to the place and I'll give you 10 to walk in. It didn't work like that. I don't need a free lunch. I don't need that. I don't need I can buy a ticket to a baseball game. I don't know if I can afford the hot dog and the beer once I get there, but I can afford a ticket to a baseball game, and no one should have to buy me one. And not to go protect myself. Let's face it, do I have to bribe you to leave the building if there's a fire? Do I have to offer you a ticket to a game, a meal at a restaurant if there's a fire in the house, if someone is shooting a gun and you have to take cover? Listen, I don't have to take cover. It's my right. I don't have to leave the house. It's my right. It's my home. Yeah, but it's burning. The roof is falling. I don't have to go. Well, how about if I give you a ticket to a baseball game? All right. Is that the way it has to be? Yeah. I just don't see it that way. But that is unfortunately what is going on in the country right now, unfortunately. And that is, yeah, I'm looking at this story from NBC News. The headline is "Love Free Stuff," and New York rolls out suite of incentives to get people vaccinated as rates plunge. What other kind of things are they offering these days? Oh, let's see. Metro cards. In New Jersey's governor says they haven't ruled out cash offerings to get people to get a shot. But right now in New York, you can get deals for the New York City Aquarium in Brooklyn, Botanical Gardens, Bronx Zoo, Lincoln Center, Brooklyn Cyclones, let's go Mets, New York City Ferry and Public Theater, among other popular attractions. And that's according to Mayor de Blasio. Well, New York City Ferry, I don't know where they're going, but if it's Staten Island, it's free. So you're offering them nothing. If they think they're getting something, they're idiots. But yeah, Hi, I know you live in the furthest most point of Brooklyn, but if you get a shot, we'll send you all the way to the Bronx. That is pretty much the what's going on, and it just seems so pathetic. It really does. It seems pathetic, you know. Yeah, it's. But okay, what do I know, right? What can I possibly know? What is this here? Yeah, I'm reading in the New York Times. People are taking this. I'm gonna use this part as a lead in to with a lot of the other stories. A couple of stories I have. And this is about people who are taking less showers because they don't have to. They're working from home. They don't have to do anything. They just, they used to shower every day to go to work, but they're saving time. They're saving time. They're not wasting energy. They're saving a fortune on products, on body care products, shampoo and soap and most probably toothpaste and things like that. This is what people are doing. I think people are stupid. But, what do I know? What do I know? All I know is right at this moment, people don't want to get vaccinated, and there's others living at the base of Mount Everest because the COVID cases are there, and they can't leave. You know why? They'll bring the virus with them, so they're living on Mount Everest. You got it? Go get a shot. Go wherever it is you got to go and go get a shot. By the way, speaking of people at home and not showering, well, they may have to now, especially next winter when other people are home with them. New York City has decided to get rid of school snow days. Remember those days we used to love? You hear that outside? There's an emergency somewhere, and it's not here. I use it as a metronome. That's not a fire truck. That sounds like an ambulance. Okay. So yeah, so the New York City school system is getting rid of snow days in favor of remote learning, which means, sorry kids, you can't just stay home and say, yeah, I'm not talking about playing in the snow. Not, you got to stay home, got to go to school. Not sure if you're learning anything, but you got to stay home, got to go to school. I sort of like that. What is this? What else why don't I listen to the news of any kind when it comes to health information? It doesn't just mean coronavirus, it means anything. I remind you all again, I stopped listening to media updates on health years ago, way back when we were told that McDonald's was healthier for us than Chinese food. Then about a year ago, we were told that Chinese food was healthier for us than McDonald's. See, it goes back and forth. But back to coronavirus. You remember when all this first started way back when? The very beginning, and what is it? How do we get it? How do you get it? And where do you get it? And who gives it to you? And who doesn't? Well, a brand new article 3 days ago. I got this off of Microsoft News, which actually comes from an article on the New York Times. It says federal health officials on Friday, last Friday, updated public guidance for how the coronavirus spreads, emphasizing that transmission occurs by inhaling very fine respiratory droplets and aerosolized particles, as well as through contact with spray droplets or touching contaminated hands to one's mouth, nose, or eyes. We were told this last year. And right now, and everyone thought it was, you had to touch something. So, like a lot of people, I bought gloves, and I was bored, and they were so cheap. I now have, you can't really see it from where the camera is, but I'm in possession of 1,100 gloves. I have actually 10 plus boxes of gloves. So if we go back to the first belief, I'm already. So yeah, pretty much now everything old is new again, including information. So yeah, there you go. Everything old is new again, including this cup, which was given to me by an ex-girlfriend about 25 years ago. I got the cat and I got the cup. Trust me, it's a perk. Oh man, That theory of women think they're invincible and bulletproof when they're drunk. I was really tempted to find out about this. So, oh man, what else is going on in the world? Okay, so now we know that all the old news is new again. Okay, so be careful with what you're touching. Do this. Be careful with that. Be careful with everything. Still with wash your hands. And trust me, some of you look filthy. Wash your hands and your face while you're at it. You're there anyway. It's the same sink. What can you say, right? Wow, we're going at a decent pace today. I mentioned there the bodies are still, yeah, okay, we're catching up. We're catching up. People are being bribed. People are smearing crap on themselves, and there are bodies left. Okay. Another good reason why it's good to open the schools, or why we want people to do well and be able to go to schools, we want them vaccinated, is Zoom. We got to get rid of Zoom, people. And this one here, I like this one. This just came out the other day. A New York City teacher was caught sucking topless man's nipple during a Zoom class. All righty then. So while the kids were doing their assignment, and it doesn't say, does it say how old the kids were? Yeah, that's what goes on. People forget. Like a couple of weeks ago, when one of the news guys forgot that he was on camera and walked around the house naked, and somebody else is doing there. Everyone's doing this or that. And it says here, after taking her mouth off the man's chest, she resumed teaching and discussing the worksheet. So she gave the kids a worksheet. They went to work, and so did she. All righty then. I keep using that term, all righty then. Mostly because it's so freaking stupid as to what people are doing. But where's my favorite word? My Yiddish word for wait, let me get to it. My Yiddish word for for Zoom. Wait a second. Which is, oh man, me doing Yiddish. Okay, the Yiddish word is "eugesumt," which is overexposed to, fatigued by, or exhausted from, or bored by, had it with Zoom. And in the proper language, it says "Ich bin so eugesumt," which means I'm so done with Zoom. Oh man, this is what we talk about here, people. I want me having some like interesting medical topics. Not this week. I'm talking in Yiddish about Zoom. Get rid of it. It's annoying already. Really, what's Jade doing? Jade's still holding the invisible glass. This is what's going on here. Oh man. Everybody, please. Everybody has a good story to tell. Everyone has a good stupid story to mention. Why don't you write into us? Write into me at upfrontfrank@gmail.com. There you go. Upfrontfrank@gmail.com. I know you're listening. I know you want to write in. You're either saying, I can't believe he's talking about this stuff, or you want to say something. Rather than talk to your computer screen, talk to me. Do I have to say something so rude or really socially wrong? Nah, just come on here and tell me about anything you want to tell me about. My email is yours. I'm not going to give you my password, but you do have the address, upfrontfrank@gmail.com. Do you have an idea for doing a show of your own? Certainly better than the one you're seeing. Why don't you write into us at Skies Crescent Radio @gmail.com. SKYES, Skies Crescent Radio @gmail.com. There's plenty of time. There's plenty of time in the day and the night for you. Just remember that. You don't have to do an hour. You can do a half hour. You can do whatever you want. You can do some of your favorite movie quotes live. Do you have any movie quotes? Do you know any really good movie quotes? That's what I use some of them. My original thoughts in plagiarizing works very well. There's some great lines in all of film that I use very, very well. But that's another story. And I mean, actually, the most memorable line in all of film is probably Clark Gable saying, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn." Good line. I was never a fan of Clark Gable, but it's a good line. So why don't you create a show and tell us your favorite movie. Give us your one-liners. If you ever saw The Godfather, there's plenty of them. Watch Rocky. You got a few good ones in there too. Anyway, just give it a shot. You never know. Everyone should be heard, and we want to hear from you. Also, well, we're in New York, and I have to go down to Soho later on. If you're out and about today at 5 p.m. In New York, stop over by Thompson Chemist. There are two things happening. One is the return of the Thompson Street Medicine Show. That means our old friends, Sheriff Bob and Deputy Cat, will be playing their music along with some of their friends. It's going to be, I think, live streamed. So turn on Facebook at 5 p.m., Thompson Street Medicine Show. And there's a book signing. Reggie Nadelson has put out a book called Marvelous Manhattan, just stories of restaurants, bars, shops, and all that stuff about New York. And it looks like a nice book, easy going. So stop by for that, get an autographed copy, buy the book. It doesn't cost a fortune. And, have a good time. It's a nice night out. I think there'll be some food. Certainly, there's a song you like, you can dance. And hopefully for me, some of the neighborhood dogs walk by because I miss some of my old little four-legged friends. So that's what I'll be doing from 5 to 7. And on Saturdays, look at me doing all these commercials here when I don't know how to do commercials. On Saturdays from 7:30 to 9:30, an old friend of ours here, Johnny Mandolin, is playing over at Il Piccolo Buffalo on 141 Mulberry Street, which is in Little Italy. Some of the best Italian food you're going to have. And Johnny's playing his mandolin, playing all those little Italian songs that you've heard all of you heard your parents and grandparents play. So stop by on Saturdays and watch that. What else is going on around the city? Damn, I need like a real commercial. I got to get paid for this stuff. And I need a band. And I need a couch, like you see on TV, a couch. I need all this set up. What else is going on? Here's a topic. Well, first thing is going back to, let's finish up this COVID crap, right? Besides, I don't mean the cows. I got this from NBC News. The Montana governor ends extra unemployment payments, citing worker shortage. Montana's open for business, okay. But he says, I hear from too many employers throughout our state who can't find workers. And that's according to Governor Greg Gianforte. And President Biden has, without giving out a guideline of how he's going to, what he wants to do about it, has also mentioned that people, you say, should not work the system. There are a lot of places where people can no longer get workers. I was reading about a restaurant in Manhattan, I think it's Manhattan, where they're offering their employees a $200 bonus just to stay 2 months. But at least in Montana, beginning June 27th, unemployed workers will no longer receive $300 a weekly extra benefits. Now, yeah, I know that's important to people who are staying home, but they have their jobs. I was talking to a guy I know who is in the construction union, and there's jobs are opening up, and very few of them want to show up. They're getting unemployment. They don't want to go to work. And that is a thing. I was talking to somebody who runs a financial investment firm. And again, yeah, there are Zoom meetings, but you need people in the office. You need people to come in. People need to get work done. Matter of fact, I'm not sure if you've been reading, but there may just be a gasoline shortage this coming summer. Not because they don't have the gasoline, because there's nobody who wants to drive the trucks. There's nobody at work. But think about truck drivers. They're in their truck. They're usually alone. They drive to wherever they have to go. They make their deliveries. They get out. You don't have to go near anybody. And they just don't want to do it. They're staying home. And this is not a new thing because of COVID. No, this is a very old mentality. Everyone here pretty much knows somebody who's lost their job in spring, or they quit their job and then they file for unemployment. Now, people who really quit their jobs are not really supposed to get unemployment, but most businesses don't want to fight it. It's a lot of trouble. And then they get their unemployment, and the first thing is, I think I'm going to relax for the summer. Okay. Do you have a job lined up? Yeah, I can get one, but I'm going to relax for the summer. I'm going to take it easy. Okay, take it easy. This is not a a new thing. Matter of fact, this is a very old thing. And it's not like just in America. I mean, I still don't understand Europe where they close for the month of August. It's civilized, you know. But yeah, I used to do all kinds of work overseas and work with sales agents, people representing my company. And the first thing I said, come mid-July, get everything signed, get all the contracts signed, because come August 1st, I'm screwed because everyone's off. And now with COVID, people are either working from home, collecting unemployment and doing some odd end freelance work on the side, you know, doing whatever they're doing, or they're simply out of the habit of doing what they do, or they're afraid, or I'll tell you they're afraid. They're, um, I see people who are afraid to go back to work, but not afraid to eat in a restaurant, hang out with their friends at a bar, go to the beach among people, go wherever they're going, but they can't go to work. They're afraid. So, you know, this is the way it is. This is just the way it is. It really is. It's really a bad, not a bad, but I am not one of that mentality. You know, if there's something out there to do, go get it done. Go dig a ditch, roll up your sleeves, get dirty. It won't hurt you. Trust me, it will not hurt you. Um, yeah, that's what I think of that. Go get dirty. Go back to work. Go be who you are. If sitting in your home in front of a computer all day, every day is who you are, I expect to see you in a wheelchair because you really can't get out of your house. But if you're able to get out and go to work and do what you got to do, go get out there again. Go make a difference. If possible, go make a difference. Doesn't mean anyone wants you to take a chance, an unnecessary chance, but where it's becoming apparently clear that it's you sort of got to do it now. It's the way it is. A lot of the bigger companies are getting tired of the Zoom practice. They want people to come in again. So we'll see how that works out. I still say I miss doing the show in the studio. I mean, I can talk the same way. I could trip over my own tongue the same way, but I miss shifting gears. I miss shifting gears and going into the studio and coming out. And every now and then, we'd all go for a drink or get a bite to eat. And it was it was nice. Now, now I see Jade from the elbows up, because when she sits in her chairs, I start seeing her from the elbows. That's it. That's it. Oh well, that's okay. Someone I saw actually gave me a hug the other day. Damn, that was better than sex. But then again, I always like the old joke. If you're walking through the desert and you're starving and you eat a cracker, you think you had the greatest meal in the world. You ate a cracker, but it's even contaminated water was it's better when there's no water. But actually, yes, I saw a couple. I got a couple of hugs last week. I was happy about that. People aren't as paranoid about when they talk to you from a few feet away. And what could you do, right? What else is going on? It is now we're almost halfway done. Maybe I'll run short today. Maybe I'll run long and I'll be creative, but I'm not sure yet. One of my favorite subjects that you've all have heard me talking about is that transgender thing in sports. I mean, give it a break. Transgender boy wins girls state wrestling title for the second time. That's actually from a couple of years ago. That's just one of the many stories that are out there. That's an example of one of the stories because people are talking about that. From the other day, weightlifter poised to become first transgender Olympian. It says New Zealander Laurel Hubbard, 43, has effectively been guaranteed a spot in the women's super heavyweight category in Tokyo during the Olympics. And it says, well, I always like this. The first paragraph always reads like the headline. All right. Hubbard was effectively guaranteed a spot in the women's super heavyweight category. The report from the Olympic Focus trade publication, and that is from what is the whatever the trade publication is. But I lost my spot there. That's after the International Olympic Committee approved an amendment to the rules as the COVID-19 pandemic forced the cancellation of many qualifying competitions. Not good. Hubbard competed in the men's weightlifting competitions before transitioning, like in 2013. That means 8 years ago. 8 years ago, at the age of 35, pretty much a younger and stronger Hubbard lifted the weights up. She has been eligible to compete in the Olympics since 2015, when the IOC issued new guidelines allowing transgender athletes to compete as a woman, provided their testosterone levels are below nanomoles per liter for at least 12 months before their competition. Okay, so you have to take the right amount of drugs, and your testosterone levels have to be low enough for a year. All righty then. Says weightlifting has been at the center. I keep all righty thening because I can't believe what I'm reading a lot of times. Weightlifting has been at the center of the debate over fairness of transgender athletes. Well, we all know that story. Her gold medal wins at the 2000 Pacific Games in Samoa, where she topped the podium ahead of Samoa's Commonwealth Games champion, Pagagia Stowers, triggered outrage in the island nations. Yes, I could read that so formally read. Well, why shouldn't it? Well, I am not one for outrage, the word outrage, but I fully understand why. I've seen a picture of this woman. This is a guy. This is a guy. You know, it's not like someone started as a kid and they're learn their body mechanics as a kid as a female. This is a guy. Learn body mechanics as a male. Muscle mass of a male. I can't tell you about the testosterone levels, but knows how to do things as a male. The mentality is there, and the size is there. And this is not fair to any woman going up against Laurel. It just isn't. It's in a lot of sports, in a lot of places, whether it's combat sports of any kind. As I was reading, was it last week? In Australian football, in basketball, where there's physical contact like that. It's dangerous and it's unfair. Now, weightlifting is not a combat sport. There's no real physical contact. But the body mass, transgender or no, of a 43-year-old, we'll say Hubbard, is far greater than that of a female. I don't care how heavy she looks. I don't care how muscular she is. It just isn't fair. It isn't right. And by the way, Japan's not so sure what they're going to do with the Olympics this year yet, because there has been a spike in corona cases, and they're sort of thinking it over as to what's going to be going on. But this is wrong. I've talked about this so many times. This is just wrong. I don't see how forget political correctness, forget inclusion, forget that everyone thinks that their decisions are all that important and what they want to do with themselves. Your decisions are important. You want to become a transgender male or female and become a surgeon? I hope you're the best surgeon you can operate on me. You want to be my dentist? Go ahead. You want to do a lot of things in life. Be a pilot, be an astronaut, be a leading scientist, be a detective, be anything you want. But there has to be a certain line drawn when it comes to, unfortunately, athletics, because in almost all athletics, there is an edge towards male. All things being equal, there is an edge towards male. You want to throw darts? For all I know, you're going to win. I don't know. The dartboard's not that far away. She can throw it as hard. A natural female can throw it as accurately as a transgender female. It makes no difference. but there's a lot of things where it just isn't fair. It's dangerous. So, but I've gone back to this many times. When people are sitting there debating whether it's natural, it's not natural, it's male versus female, make a trans division. You want female mixed martial artists, female basketball players, female, you want, female, transgender female uh, bodybuilders, weightlifters, boxers, anything else. Create a trans division. Transgender male and female, everyone's included. And you know what happens? You'll wind up with the same debate of now, but naturally male, naturally female, because you are who you are at birth, and you're going to grow as much as you would grow. I mean, you can take enough drugs and get rid of a beard and grow a beard and whatever. And if you want to be you want to be you want to dress like a man or woman, no one really cares. But let's keep it in perspective. It's what it is. Be a musician. Be a musician. Make great music. The world needs more great music. I'd rather have better music by anybody who can perform it, who can produce it, than a mixed martial artist beating the crap out of a natural woman, 4 inches shorter and a lot less in size and power. It's just not safe. Well, we're coming up. It's almost 20 minutes to the hour. Look at me go. As I now sit there and feel the bottom of my beard. I know I need a shave. I'm just too lazy to do it. All I know is now for the sports, the Mets are doing well this year. I'm very happy. Our star pitcher, Jacob deGrom, is on a little bit of an injury rest. He pulled his lat, and he thought ball batting, but thought he was recovered, but I guess he's not. So now he's sitting in the hot tub somewhere. But the Mets are doing well. I'm very happy about that. Speaking of sports, if you're following horse racing, oh my, oh my, oh my. Bob Baffert, the leading or just about one of the leading trainers in the industry, in the business of horse racing, has been suspended from Churchill Downs racetrack because his horse was tested positive for a steroid. Can you believe this? Yeah. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to replace, it hasn't been announced if the Medina Spirit, the winning horse, it hasn't been announced if this horse is going to be called Taken Down, which would mean the second place horse would get the winning slot and be the Kentucky Derby champion. It would mean the owners and the trainers and everybody involved with Medina Spirit would have to refund their money, their prize money. But the gamblers, or whoever the people who bet the winning combinations one way or another, they're not giving money back. You're not going to know who they are. And the people who would now have won the money, which would be far greater, because a long shot came in second, they're not going to collect because they went through the wonderful privilege that so many other people at the racetrack have, is when you lose a race and you know your ticket is worthless, you get to do, and you angrily throw it on the floor. So that's going to be interesting. And Bob Baffert, he's not going to the Preakness, the next race in the Triple Crown, which will be, I think, next week. I'm not sure if he's going to the Belmont Stakes a few weeks later, but we will see what happens. I can't believe somebody would do this to an animal. What am I saying? Of course I could. But, wow. Yeah, so that's the story with that. Keep up. It's an interesting subject. It's a sad thing. The horse has no idea what's going on. They just run and eat hay and get bathed. They live. That's just pretty much what it is. What does it say here? The drug which he tested positive for, it's an anti-inflammatory. Now, Bob Baffert saying he's been wronged. It's a complete injustice. The drug is an anti-inflammatory. But then again, that takes away the injury. If there's something wrong with the horse, that his joints are inflamed or whatever it is, or maybe the workouts took a toll on the horse, they inject him with anti-inflammatory, which is on the list of things that you're not allowed to use. So they should have checked and used something else. Oh well, more information to come. Film at 11. That's what's going on in the world, people. That's what's going on in the world. Yeah, the Olympics. The Olympics in Japan are at risk because the International Committee president cancels Japan trip. That's the rumor going around. I'm not sure what's going to happen. This was an interesting story, and I hope she wins her case. The headline. I got this from some comicsans.com, but it's a story that's been going around. It's from May 10th. Black woman, that's what it says, headline. Black woman home values jump $100,000 after she has white male friend sit in during appraisal. Okay, so it turns out that this woman, her name is Carlette Duffy, had her house appraised a couple of times, and the values came in at 125,000 and 110,000. That is after she's put work into it. She purchased the house for 100,000 even. That's what it says here. And put in, the usual work that people put into their homes. And now it's coming time to sell. And she realized that she's not going to get a decent price on the appraisal. So she removed everything that would tell you who she is just by looking around the room. Remember, we're talking about someone who has black skin. Took out family pictures, art, or anything who, if you're going by the term African American, okay, fine. Took away any artwork that would tell you, that would suggest to you that she is black. Removed anything, any kind of statues, any kind of anything. I'm going to sneeze my brains out in a second. 1 second. Oh man, I hate this. Yeah, excuse me. That's why when you do these things live, this is what happens. She removed every last thing and had a friend of hers who was white sit in for the appraisal. And the house came back in at 259,000. Now I remind you, the actual structure of the home has not been changed. Unless she's looking at everything that you can pick up and leave, whether it's on the floor, the carpet, anything you can pick up and leave with, she took it out and just replaced herself with a friend who is white. Okay, there went the appraisal. Now she's got a lawsuit. I hope she wins. That is such bullshit. So yeah, there you go. All right. Well, you find the article. They were talking about it in the New York Times and all that stuff. Anyway, so when she read an article in the Times about the housing industry and how the homes of a black person can home appraised much lower than that of a white neighbor with a similar home, she took a shot and did what she did, and she was right. So I'm hoping she gets whatever amount of money she's checking for, because I think that just sucks. You're not supposed to have that problem. What else is going on here? NBC says it's not going to air the Golden Globes in 2022 because of concerns of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association controversy. But you could read all about that, because what is this? There's a video. Sorry, let me get rid of that. Oh, the video went to a different spot. If you heard that, I'm sorry. Anyway, so yeah, so there's a problem. They're saying it's biased and all that. And a couple of actresses came out. Scarlett Johansson says they're also inappropriate in other ways. But what's getting me is the awards are going on. Just NBC is not going to air it, which I guess is okay, but the awards are going on. Now, if you had people saying we're not showing up, which so far this is a new story that I'm reading, maybe that will happen. That would maybe give them a reason not to give awards out this year. If but as of this moment, it's not being aired in 2022, and they're looking forward to hopefully putting on in 2023. The Golden Globes, which is the indicator for the Academy Awards, which of course got it all wrong this year, but that's another story. And this is pretty much what's going on in not just my world, in our world. Just remember, when you hear all these stories, then you hear someone on the news saying, this is not who we are. Yes, it is. This is just who we are. You have people who want to cheat you out of money for your home and need to be bribed to get a vaccination. In the last week alone, there were 2 guys who picked up their infant and newborn children. One held the one baby out as a human shield during a shootout. The other one, I received the Amber Alert yesterday. Armed, 4-month newborn, whatever, however old this kid is. And police still searching for another guy. This is what I'm hearing. Oh, and by the way, let me get to it. Let me get to this first because I don't want to forget it. Just so we have, in case you have a bar pool on this subject. Here's a good story. I forgot to read this one. An oblivious nurse in Italy gave the patient 6 COVID vaccination doses in a single shot. I don't know how they did it. They come pre, each syringe is loaded, but that's what happened in Goa Hospital in Italy. The patient was a doctor. So the doctor couldn't see what the nurse is doing. You look at the syringe, you can see there's too much. Doesn't matter what the dosage calls for, there's too much. And that's what happened. So we have that. We have that. And in case anyone wants to know, there has been just about 200 shootings in America. I took a look. I Googled it. How many mass shootings have been in since 2021? Calendar year 2021. You got it? And this is a lot of what came up. There's 178 so far on the books for January through April, but that has not accounted for full of May yet. So the month's not even half done yet. But I counted 22 if I read it right. So yeah, we're at an even 200 mass shootings in America. Wow. Thankfully, everyone is taking advantage of their rights. We don't want people not to have their rights. And one last thing. New York people, letting you know, in your restaurant checks, your check comes at the end of the meal, there is a COVID surcharge, coronavirus surcharge. And while some people are allowed to charge just 4%, sometimes you get a 10% surcharge at the end of the check. And people start tipping based on what they see. They look at the total and they tip. But then again, I would feel bad too. I would hate to have that happen, but the city gives away whatever they could when they can, but then they'll find a way to take it back. And that's because it may be taxable as income. And when the Board of Health goes along their way and starts inspecting restaurants, those yearly inspections when you see the ABC on the window, they have a whole new list of things to inspect to give you fines for. So when you're thinking of screwing over your customers, remember, you're going to get screwed in the end. The last laugh is on you. It's just the way it is. So be careful of your check. Be careful of what you're seeing. So remember, that means if you tip, just for the number, 20% when you look at the total, just remember it may vary from restaurant to restaurant, and 10% of that check could be for pretty much a bucket of water and some Lysol in it. Because remember, what it takes to keep a place clean at night has either already been paid for, or they're simply filling up a hot water or rag and putting a little bit of bleach into it, which is usually a tablespoon or two of bleach per whatever part they're using of water. So keep it in mind. Someone's always looking to screw you. I grew up in Coney Island, where everyone was excited. Nathan's is charging 5 cents a hot dog on Thursdays. It was like part of the summer promo. Well, that comes if you buy the French fries and the soda with it. So you're really not having a 10-cent lunch, but you can get the hot dogs. Okay, that's fine. What they didn't tell you is it starts at 5 in the evening. So you're going to Nathan's for dinner. You're not going there for lunch. If you want a nickel hot dog, you're going there for dinner, because it's not, unless you're getting a late afternoon snack, because they're not just giving it to you for lunch. You have to get that. Starts at 5 p.m. That part was not advertised, and so everybody's got something. Then they have the new way of getting a burger. It used to be, I walked up to the counter, I wanted a stinking hamburger, little burger, done, cheeseburger, done. Now you have to get it with everything on it. The lettuce, the tomato, the onion, whatever else, their special sauce, lettuce, cheese. Oh, excuse me, that's the other company. But yeah, what is this? Okay. Yeah, so that's what's going on. Don't always believe what you read. Check it out first. I still want a Nathan's hot dog. But at Nathan's, it's not that I don't know that hot dogs cost a lot of money anywhere now, but it's not supposed to cost a lot of money at Nathan's. It's Nathan's. So anyway, that's what's going on. And there you go. It's now coming up on the hour. It's been real, people. Lots of good stories to talk about. A lot of information, informative topics. Like people in America need to be bribed for health, and people in India are so desperate for help, they're making their own oxygen and smearing cow shit on their body. Keep it in mind. Keep perspective. All right. There you go. There's your civil liberties in action. Go tell people in in India, they really have civil liberties, and see what they say as they're smearing it all over themselves. And that is the story. Go get your vaccinations, please. Not because I'm telling you to, not because I'm asking you to, which I am, simply because somehow I think you're better off in the long run. Even if you never get sick, I promise you somebody's going to be afraid to have you around. And then you won't be able to go to certain places with your friends and your family, or even to a good fight with people you can't stand. Either way, take care of yourselves, huh? I will see everybody next week. I'm going to go to Thompson Chemist, 132 Thompson Street, and go watch the music and see the book signing and see what food they have to offer, because, well, why the hell not? Okay, I will see everybody next week. Have a good night, gang.